What's up guys, Tyrai521 back for another video for you. You know, for the longest time, I have had three go-to sets as my answer for what is my favorite LEGO set of all time. What is my favorite in my collection, and just all around what I think are the three best sets, for my personal opinion, that LEGO has ever produced. The first one is this one you see before you, this 2011 Millennium Falcon. I personally believe this is the best designed Falcon. I prefer this individual panel style even over the 2019 version. I think it's the cleanest in terms of the colors. I think the design of it is just really clean, and I like that there's not a lot of dark gray. It's mostly light gray. I love the figure selection, and I just have a lot of nostalgia for it too. You know, I remember going to the mall with my friends on my 13th birthday and buying it as like a little treat for myself with my birthday money. It's one of the largest Star Wars sets in my collection. It was one of the few like large Star Wars sets I had at the time, and even still to this day. And of course, it's just, you know, it's the Millennium Falcon. It's iconic. It's the most iconic Star Wars vehicle, and I've always loved this as it's always been one of my favorite pieces in my Star Wars collection. My absolute favorite, I should say. Next up is the Tower of Orthanc. Lord of the Rings are not only is it my favorite film series of all time, but as a result of that, it is also my favorite LEGO theme of all time. And the Tower of Orthanc at the time of release was the flagship set of the entire theme, and I think even to this day, it's you know, has some incredible architecture, some incredible building techniques in it. It's a very imposing, striking model. The build for it, I remember being extremely fun. I remember for the longest time I said like this was the most fun I had building a single set. And yeah, it's still, I just look at it today and I marvel at all the techniques and just like the cool designs in it, and I love just like, you know, these steep, just like these really like tall, menacing spires at the top here. Yeah, so this has just been a long-standing favorite of mine. It's always been the most like imposing and like the centerpiece of my entire Lord of the Rings collection. And then we also move on to finally the Stranger Things set. I went through a very, very brief dark age with my LEGO collecting, and I say very brief because it only lasted about a year and a half, I believe. But even still, you know, LEGO was not producing a lot of sets at the time that I cared for, and the release of the Stranger Things set really kind of like woke me up in a sense. It was really the set that kind of made me think like wow, LEGO is going there. LEGO is doing something much more mature and adult than I was used to. I think not only do I love this set because I love Stranger Things and because I love this cool technique they utilized with it, you know, with the upside down and mirroring the two sides, you know, which, you know, I actually previously did in a mock that I published to YouTube 2 years earlier. I'm not saying LEGO stole my idea, but I'm just saying. Not only do I love it for that, I think what this set represents is something we're seeing a lot from LEGO now, and that is a willingness to approach themes and licenses that are geared more towards adults and teens and older collectors. I think something like the Dune Ornithopter or the Jaws set kind of carry forth that same I think they represent the same thing the Stranger Things set does, in that they are mature licenses that kind of show that LEGO can go a little bit darker. They can aim towards a little bit of an older demographic when they want to, and I really have been loving seeing them do that. So yeah, these three sets have, for the longest time, been the three sets in my collection. Like, these are, if I could only save three and I had to sell everything else, it would always be these three. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but unfortunately for these guys, they have all been outshone by a recent release that just came out back in June. And not only is that set one of the most expensive I own in my collection, the second most expensive, but it also does everything this tower does. It is representative of what this tower meant to me, but it just does it so much better. As much as I love this set, it has been beaten by something else. The great eye always watches. Yeah, I don't think I was being very cryptic in my little description there, guys. Barad-dûr, I can't even put into words what a dream come true this set releasing is for me. You know, I don't want to, you know, Rivendell, of course. I'm sure a lot of people would put Rivendell above this. I actually also bought Rivendell earlier this year as well. I've spent a lot of money on Lego this year, those two sets and the Dune Ornithopter, and I'm still eyeing the Jaws set, so it's okay. I've been selling a lot of Lego. I've been like purging like a third of my collection in the meantime to make sure I have the funds for these sets, so don't worry about my finances. But this set, guys, if you remember back in the days of me making like Lord of the Rings content and doing my big Middle-earth mock, I could have only dreamed of a set like this back then. You know, Lego had never tackled Lord of the Rings with a model this elegant, with something this detailed, something this menacing and tall, with such a complex and, you know, intricate design system. And again, I love the Tower of Orthanc, but what this set does in terms of, you know, providing like a menacing, imposing, harsh architectural marvel to be like the centerpiece of your Lord of the Rings collection, it does it perfectly. The detail is far beyond what I would have even expected from Lego. I honestly would not have been surprised if if I would have thought Lego was going to do a Barad-dûr set, I kind of figured they would have just like started right here, you know, just like do the main tower piece, do that as like $200. I never would have expected them to like include the entire, I don't know what you call this bottom part of the fortress here, but I never would have expected them to do this whole section with the gate and these spires and everything. This set just blows my mind. It is, I don't know if it's the most fun I've had building a set, but I would say it's certainly one of the most fun building experiences I've ever had, just because seeing this thing come to life and seeing just how massive it gets as you're building it is just an incredible thing to experience as a Lego builder and collector. To this day, the design for the eye, with that light up brick, it's perfect. You can move it in like such a great range of motion, you know, and have it look pretty much anywhere you want. It's gonna be a bit tough, but if I can flip it around here, the detail on the inside is immaculate. I love the little library up here and Sauron's little base. I've got some of the figures spread out throughout the build, but I love the big dining hall area. I love the dungeon, and then this little, I forget how you move them, but this little guy right here that can raise and lower. There's a knob somewhere on here, but I built this section a couple months back. I've kind of been building this in stages, so I forget how to move it. I think it's, this guy right here. Yeah, but it is just such a phenomenal piece. There's so much detail in it. It is packed to the brim with references. And I didn't want to do just like a traditional like review of it. You know, you guys have got your Solid Brick Studios, you've got your M&Rs, your Jang Bricks. There's so many much better reviewers on this platform than me that have, you know, the studio space, the microphone, the camera quality, you know, everything that could blow any review I did out of the water. I just wanted to do like a brief video kind of explaining what this set means to me and just kind of like throwing my praise for it out there. Just so you guys know how much I adore this set and how much I absolutely recommend it. If you can spare the $450 or however much it costs, I used like $70. I used a bunch of VIP points to get like a $70 discount on it, so it wasn't as steep for me, but I adore it. I think it's fantastic. I wanted to do a video on it, and I also had a little other bonus thing I wanted to throw at the end of this video, just kind of for fun. Now, as a little bonus just at the end of the video, guys, I wanted to kind of throw this in there. I wanted to do a comparison of the massive, gargantuan Lego Lord of the Rings Barad-dûr mock compared to the little kind of tiny, very tiny in comparison, one that I made when I was 14 years old. Obviously, there is no comparison between these two models whatsoever. Nothing on mine is comparable to Lego's. Mine was made just simply with the parts in my collection. I was not obviously making it to be accurate. I did not include any of the architecture that defines the Lego model, as well as, you know, the real model they used in the films. Mine was more or less just a stack of black bricks, 4x4, you know, going down half the tower, and then 4x6, and then just like slowly getting wider as it went down. It is very tiny, very much not accurate to the source material at all, excuse me. and I will be happy to replace it in my collection with this one, even though this one is going to be taking up a much larger footprint and finding the space for it is going to be challenging. You know, all that said though, while I will be scrapping this model, I am pretty proud of the design I came up with for the eye. I think for coming up with that when I was like 14, I think that actually looks pretty decent. I'm actually not too, I don't think that's too shabby of a job. So I will be saving the little build of the eye and keeping it kind of just put in like the corner or something, just alongside my other Lord of the Rings sets, just as a little bit of like a tribute to the Barad-dûr MOC that I kept in my collection for 10 years before LEGO released theirs. Yeah, something kind of like that, something small and simple as a little way to pay tribute to my old Barad-dûr MOC. I like that. I think that will be a mainstay in my collection following the demolishing of my old Barad-dûr MOC. And since I was lucky enough to order Barad-dûr on release day, literally just about at midnight, I was able to get the Fell Beast promotional set. I'm very happy that I did. I love this little thing. I love it as a just nice little expansion add-on piece to Barad-dûr. And I thought it would also be fun to compare this to the Fell Beast MOC that I made. I was actually going to do these two comparisons as separate videos, but I thought if I'm going to do a full video on Barad-dûr, I'll just throw them all into the same video, you know, no big deal. The Fell Beast MOC that I made, I actually made when I was 17 as opposed to 14 when I made my Barad-dûr MOC. So it's actually a little bit more, probably better design than Barad-dûr was. I like the design for the mouth. I think the feet are very stubby, the wings are very basic and bland, they're just some plates. I think the design for the body is okay. You know, it's not the worst thing in the world. Again, I think those feet are just so stubby and it just really kind of kills the design. And the fact that it's black instead of gray like it should be. You know, it's a simple design, but I think for what it is, it actually looked fine, just as like kind of like an add-on piece to my Lord of the Rings collection. Meanwhile, though, the LEGO set once again dominates what I was able to do as a teenager with the parts in my collection. I think all the ball joints really help this thing out. I love these printed wing, fabric, plastic pieces, whatever you want to call them. I love the little piece of Osgiliath they give you to pose him on. Obviously, the legs are a huge improvement over mine. Everything about it is just spectacular. I love the little Nazgul figure they give you. There's only two really areas of improvement I would have suggested for this set. One being that I think putting the wings on hinges like this, as much as I enjoyed that, I think you totally could have, you know, modified them to put ball joints on these to give the wings just even more of a range of motion. I think that would have been a little bit better, so that way you could have had the wings like kind of lurching forward a little bit or backwards, and you know, they didn't just have to be, you know, going straight up or down. As well as I probably would have thrown in some stickers for the eyes here, either stickers or printed parts, but for a promo set, asking for printed parts may be a bit much, but just some stickers to kind of give, you know, some face or some eye detail would have gone a long way. I also would have loved to have seen maybe a mold of the Witch King's helmet for the Nazgul in this set instead of just a black hood, but I'm also kind of glad that they didn't do that, because that would have made the set much more sought after, much more expensive on the secondary market, and just all around would not have been a good time for fans who are trying to acquire the set. So in a way, I'm kind of glad that it was just a very simplistic Nazgul figure, but I am still keeping my fingers crossed that someday we will get a Nazgul helmet mold, because that would be sick. So guys, let me down in the comments down below, what do you think of this set? Do you think this is deserving of the title of my favorite set of all time? Obviously, I'm not going to take your opinions into account. This is going to remain my favorite set in my collection. But I just want to hear from you guys. For those of you who have it, those of you who really want it, or those of you who don't even really care for it, just let me know what you think of it. I am blown away that LEGO actually made this. I am just consistently amazed every time I look at it, whenever I pass it in my room. I really have to I gotta take the time to make the space for it in my Lord of the Rings collection. That's gonna take some rearranging because this thing is a bit bulky, if you couldn't tell. But I love this set. I wanted to just do a little kind of tribute video to it. I did promise I would do some more YouTube videos back when I did my life update a few years back. Haven't really stuck true to that, so I bought a tripod for this video for my phone, so hopefully that means, you know, I'll be more incentivized to do more videos going forward. You know, I'm not gonna go out and buy like a nice YouTube camera. I'm not gonna buy, you know, all the equipment and everything. I'm just, at the end of the day, if I'm gonna do more YouTube videos, I'm just gonna do them for fun. I'm just gonna do them to kind of give my thoughts on new sets that I buy, or just kind of show my collection. It's just gonna be a fun thing. I'm not doing it for money. I'm not gonna dump a lot of money into this. You know, this is just something I'm gonna do for fun when I feel like it. And I love this set, and I felt like talking about it. So let me know what you guys think of the set. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of my mocks in comparison to Barad-dûr. You can tell me that my Barad-dûr mock is better than the set, although I will not believe you, because obviously mine completely pales in comparison. Although if you do say that, you are very sweet, and I do appreciate it. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Hopefully more videos are on the way soon. Not as consistently probably as the past, but I'll still probably try to get out a few here and there. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.